understanding and compassionate and giving passes and passes and passes. I cannot tell you how many times that I've had women that I was hanging out with who would do disrespectful stuff to me whenever it came to my man. And part of it is that I was the type that I know who I was as a woman. And so with me knowing who I was as a woman, I expected other women to be like me. So yes, I was one of the dumb women that would have other women around my man.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I
Beautiful people. Honey, it is so much going on, so much going on. My sister just left here giving me the tea on what's going on at her job. So she done ran to Walmart, and I'm waiting for her to come back. So I'm gonna make me some breakfast. I think I want an omelet. I think I want a, hold on y'all. I think I want a vegetable omelet with bacon. I'm gonna get off bacon sooner or later. So, oh my God, I had some stuff to talk to you guys about. But then she came in and she done threw me completely off. But I know what I want to talk to you guys about, but I'm just like, I don't know how I want to broach this subject. But what I will say is that I am learning that, well, I've already known that the devil is busy, but I'm also learning that men are not the only ones who will try and come around and disturb your peace. There are certain, I always give you guys story times, talk about my life and things I've experienced and things that I've been through. Just to keep it real, to keep it 100. I'm 54 years old. I said I was going to stop telling my age. I was going to stop, well, I tell my age, but I said I was going to stop repeating my age because, I don't know, just live life. So, but I am 54 years old, and one of the reasons why I did start this channel is to be very authentic about my life experiences, things that I've gone through in life, lessons that I've learned, some lessons I am still learning. Not being on here being a makeup artist or showing my home decor or, me traveling on vacation, just being really authentic about my daily life. So that being said, yesterday, someone from my past popped up on one of my videos, and it threw me for a loop whenever I saw them. Mind you, here's the backstory on that. This particular person, I used to consider a little sister, and that's something that I'm really, really bad about, is I'm all about sisterhood. And I've gotten even more about sisterhood as I've gotten older. I've always, when it came to women, I don't know if it was my insecurity about who I was, but when it came to girlfriends, women, whenever I was younger, I always let them misuse me. And my mom used to say all the time, Clolita, that's my real name, Clolita. Those are not your friends. Because everybody's like, well, my friend this and my friend this. And I was always willing to go above and, beyond for, even whenever I was in high school, in elementary school, when I was in elementary school, I was always the one who befriended the underdog. Because of my insecurities about myself, I always had such compassion for other people. My sister is 9 years older than me. And, for years, she was more like a mother to me than I saw her as a mother. I'm not gonna say she was more like a mother. I'm gonna say I saw her more as a mother than a sister. And part of that was because, you know, my mom kind of like put it in her head that she had to be the protector of me more so than, you know, a sister. That, you know, that's that. So I've always held other girlfriends and women in high regard. Some of it was due to my I'm not gonna say jealousy, envy. It was so many things that I envied about them. Whether they had, you know, long pretty hair, or they had a cute shape, or, you know, things like that. And so I was very insecure about who I was, even though I had a cute shape. But, you know, things that happened in my childhood, it strips you of your confidence. And so people deal with it differently. So with me, I was very insecure about who I was, you know, as a young girl and even as a woman. But my insecurity wasn't the nature of this, because even though I was insecure about feeling less than. But at the same time, I'm still a woman. I still got very good intuition whenever it comes to men. The flip side of that is that I would have these girlfriends, and the crazy part about it, now that I think about it, I was the one who always had the car. I was the one who always had a job. I started working when I was 15 years old. And so if you didn't have it, don't worry, girl, I got it. I was that type of friend. I'm not going to say that I was buying friendships. I was basically the type that remove any barriers out of the way for us to hang out and kick it and have a good time. If you don't have the money, don't worry, I work, I got it. My mom works at General Motors. My daddy works for the Cobb County. I always had a car. So nothing is going to impede us from hanging in and kicking it. Now, so now and I was, you know, I was always, you know, like that. My best friend in high school is now pretty famous. She was in a all-girl singing rap group out of Atlanta. I was just always, and to a degree I still am, a girlfriend's girlfriend. To the point that I will say this, I was just thinking about this a little while ago. You know how we talk about bros before hoes? I was hoes before bros. Because while a lot of women will cut a woman off for a man, if a man cheated on her, disrespected her, did something, and her girlfriends let her know, you know, hey, I saw him out with another woman, or he tried to holler at me, or something like that. While a lot of women would still be with the man and start acting funny towards the woman, or mistreat the woman, or cut her off because she know even though her man is not crap, she's still gonna be with him, I was the opposite. I was the one where I had always felt like men come and go, but girlfriends are forever. So, you know, in the video that I made where I said, basically I was talking about the sister, little sister, who went behind my back and started screwing the guy that I used to date, and then they was all in my house and hanging out. We was kicking it, and I had no idea what was going on until she got drunk and told me. That was just, to be quite honest, that was the situation that broke me to the point where I am now, which is, I don't give you passes. But that was they hooked up in 2014, and she and I continued to be cool for, 3 more years? But for me, that was the final straw whenever it comes to women. And I know a lot of women will be on here telling us, like, I would never, I'm not the type of person this and that and the third, but I'm not you. So yeah, I used to give a lot of passes. It's taken me a long time to come into the Chloe that I am now. And I'm so proud of who I am now because I know how I used to be. And it's so contradicting because I was a fighter, will whoop your butt. Somebody I saw as a adversary, depending on what the situation was. But when it came to my girlfriends, I was always so damn soft and forgiving and understanding and compassionate and giving passes and passes and passes. I cannot tell you how many times that I've had women that I was hanging out with who would do disrespectful stuff to me whenever it came to my man. And part of it is that I was the type that I know who I was as a woman. And so with me knowing who I was as a woman, I expected other women to be like me. So yes, I was one of the dumb women that would have other women around my man, all the time. I've always been like a real cool girlfriend where the men that I dated, we would really just hang and kick it. And then, you know, my girlfriends would be around and stuff like that. And, you know, lesson learned. I used to always look at women who's like, I don't have a woman around my man, and you should never have a woman around your man, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I was like, I didn't get it because I knew what type of woman I was. I knew what values I had, that I would never, you know, do anything disrespectful, even to the point where, you know, growing up, I had a cute little shape. I was bow-legged. I was fine. And women always had an issue with me. And so I was the type that if I go over your house and your man is there, I'm going to leave because I don't want anything to get misconstrued. I don't want your man to say anything out of line and put me in a very precarious situation. I don't want your man looking at me, or I don't want you to think that your man is looking at me or anything like that. I ended up getting a fight with someone who was really close, that I was really close to, because somebody else had lied on me. Babe, I got some story times for you guys. So I was the type, I didn't like to be around women and their men because I didn't want I didn't want no smoke. I didn't want no problems. I don't want your man looking at me. I don't want him to say something slick to me, or you feel some type of way. So I just didn't. But on the flip side of that, I always had women around my man because I knew what type of woman I was. And so in my mind, I believe that they had the same core values that I did. Lo and behold, I had to learn the hard way, hard way, many times over, that everybody don't think like you, Chloe. So let's talk about this young lady who, first, the devil is busy. Devil sees that I am really getting back more spiritually grounded whenever it comes to God. We've been having these amazing conversations. I've been asking him to move within me. He's been moving within me. I can feel his spirit within me. I can just feel him. But at the same time, I have to continuously say, get thee behind me, Satan. I have to continuously say, God, protect me from all harm, hurt, harm, and evil. I have to continuously ask God, you know, either move the mountain or pick me up and carry me over the mountain, whatever it is. So yesterday, yesterday the devil decided that he was going to use someone from my past to poke me. Oh, please, let me get this stuff together so I can do my omelet, and then I'll come back. Because this is not a conversation that I can really have while I'm trying to fix my omelet. But I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. I don't even remember where I left off. So I'm just going to... I know I was talking about... Oh, please. I don't want to repeat myself. Let me review what I just said. So yeah, ladies, I went ahead and polished off my food. And I realized I was getting real hyped, so I need to calm down. So I said a little prayer meditation before I continue this vlog. So, what I realized about me is that a lot of it stemmed from what I experienced when I was younger. So I wasn't very trusting of men, so I cleaved to women or cleaved to girls. Because I wondered, if they had experienced the same thing I did. So that evoked the empathy in me whenever it came to other women. So getting back to this young lady who popped up on my post that I made about the girlfriend that broke me. She came on my post and she said, because I'm one who believes in making sure that I address stuff verbatim. It may not let me pull it up because I'm on actually using the phone. But basically, no, let me pull it up. So her comment, now mind you, I haven't seen this chick in, when I say years. She used to be, again, what I consider a little sister. How I met her is that me and her mom went to college together. We went to the Cap College together. And her mom was like, I want you to meet my daughter. I think you'll be, a good influence for my daughter. At the time, I think she was, because she's younger than me. I think that she was maybe 16, 17, something like that. But I think she had stopped going to school. And so her mom was like, I want you to meet my daughter. So I met her and we ended up, we clicked, we started hanging. I had a car. Of course, she didn't have a car. And I would always go get her. We started, when I say hitting the streets, we was hitting the streets. We was partying. Okay. And then her mama had an issue with it. After her mama had an issue because when I said we stayed in the streets, we partied. So she comes on my post and she says, FYI, I'm not the person she is talking about in this video, LOL. But I was accused of the same thing over 20 years ago when we were associated, repeatedly accused, and it was not true. Now, here's the thing. I haven't seen you, like you said, it's been like 20 years. It hasn't been quite 20 years, but it's been years. You run across my page on my YouTube page you run across my YouTube page. And out of all the videos, new videos that I got, because that video is from January and I've put in so many videos since then. You choose that video. I guess you noticed that video. Because why did you notice that video? Because you wondered if you were the girlfriend that broke me. You were not the girlfriend that broke me, but you should have been the girlfriend that broke me. And then you comment on this video. Out of all the videos that I have posted, you chose that one. And since you chose that one, as good as I try to be, and I know my girlfriends here on YouTube are gonna be like, Chloe, you should not have even addressed it. Chloe, why did you address it? This, that, and the third. I know, because y'all always got my back. Y'all chastise me and y'all pull my coattail and y'all straighten my crown whenever I get out of line. But sometimes people just want you to give them. Sometimes you just got to give them what they want. So, Miss Denise Clark, because I'm one of those people, my heart don't pump no Kool-Aid at all. I try and be respectful of people. A lot of times I don't give names, or I give pseudo names or whatever. But since you decided to come on my post, you put yourself out there. So apparently you didn't care. So let's talk about Miss Denise Clark. since we've already discussed the other person who broke me, let's talk about Miss Denise Clark. So me and Miss Denise Clark, when I say we partied, baby, we partied. We partied. And I took her everywhere that I went. When I say that was my baby sister, you couldn't tell me nothing wrong about her. Even though she used to do a lot of disrespectful stuff, you couldn't tell me nothing about her. I saw her as being young, and she young, this, that, and the third. Had her around all my men. Had her around Darren. I remember when Darren stayed in the apartments he stayed in Brookstone in Riverdale. And used to be over there with me, with him. And I remember he had went to McDonald's, and he had gotten us some McDonald's he had gotten us some McDonald's. And we're sitting there at the table eating McDonald's, and you grab his milkshake and drink out his milkshake. And I'm like, Denise, what the fuck you doing? And I let it slide. I remember whenever I was dating Vance, used to do little disrespectful shit around Vance. But then let's talk about Captain Fat. Captain Fat, everybody in the gator know the Captain Fat. He was a hustler. He had money. Always at Jelly Bean skating rink. Always skating. He was part of the Doughboy crew back then. And me and Captain Fat kicked it for a while. Me and Captain Fat never had sex, though. But we kicked it for a while. He was a dope boy. I had you around. Next thing I know, you fucking Captain Fat. And instead of me cutting you off, I was like, in my mind, I really didn't want him. I never had slept with him. I really didn't want him. He was giving me money, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Still continue to hang with you. But then your whole ass, you fucked his friend, Kyle. You started fucking Kyle. So you fucked Captain Fat, and you fucked his homeboy Kyle. Kyle and them at one time used to live in the same house. They was living together. They had got a house. And you fucked both of them. So since you want to come on my post, let me go ahead and put you on Front Street. Now, the comment that you are referring to is the person that I once felt was the love of my life, Mr. Used to always have you around. Matter of fact, when me and Mr. first got together, that's a whole series. I remember the day that I finally broke down and told Mr. that I wanted more. That's a whole series. I'm not going to go into the detail. Me and Mr. had this for a whole year. We was, friends with benefits, call each other, 2 o'clock in the morning. We fucking the night away. That was our thing. Until one day, we had this big argument, this big blow up. And he was like, Chloe, if you want more, say you want more. And I told him I wanted more. And he's like, okay. And then a couple of days later, he called me. And me and you was pulling up in Dugan's on Memorial Drive. We used to love some Dugan's. Matter of fact, you introduced me to Dugan's on Memorial Drive because originally we used to hang at the Dugan's on Ponce. But you was messing with Lo. So I'm going to call, if we're going to call it, we're going to call it for context. You was messing with Lo. Lo used, and his crew was always hanging at Dugan's on Memorial Drive. So that's how I got introduced to Dugan's on Memorial Drive. And they brought my bike club over to Dugan's on Memorial Drive. So, we were pulling up at Dugan's on Memorial Drive, and Melvin called me. And he said, shit, I said the name. Mr. God damn it. Mr. called me and he said, he had thought about it and he wasn't ready for a relationship. And I lost it. I mean, I'm crying, sniveling, snot running down my nose, everything. And you're with me. You take the phone from me and you said, can you just leave her alone? Just leave her alone, because you hurting her, and she, this, that, and the third, and can you just leave her alone? That's what you took the phone and you told him. Lo and behold, he called me a couple of days later, said that he wanted to be in a relationship. That's a whole nother story. So from that point forward, we used to always hang out and kick it. And you used to love to kick it because you knew that my dude was going to take care of everything. He was the type of guy that, I would be with my girls. We can be somewhere hanging out, kicking it. It could be 3, 4 of my girls. He with his boys. He going to call me and he's going to be like, babe, where you at? Oh, we are such and such and such. Okay, I'm on my way. He would leave his boys to come hang with me and my girls, because that's just how cool he and I was. We was just like this. We loved being around each other. We were the best of friends. It was me and him against the world. We were Bonnie and freaking Clyde. That was us. But you also knew that anytime that he came around, he was going to take care of the tab. He was going to take care of the bill. Bill could be $500. Didn't even matter. He was going to take care of the bill. That's how we used to roll. We used to ball out. So you knew you was good. You knew you was so good that anytime that you was going to hang out with me and him, you didn't even have money. You didn't even bring money, because you knew you didn't even have to worry about money. You knew he was going to take care of the tab. And you could proceed to order whatever it is that you wanted. So, here's one time that you were disrespectful. We were going into, it's called Insurrections now. Back then it was called 9.5 Weeks on Cheshire Bridge Road. We were going in Cheshire Bridge Road. In order to get in there, you had to go around back and go up the stairs, walk up the stairs. So we're walking up the stairs. You're in front of me. Is you in the front, then me, then Melvin walking upstairs. And you say, Chloe, don't say nothing about my booty. I know you're going to say something about my booty, because you always saying something about my booty. First of all, what the hell you talking about? I ain't never saying nothing about your booty. Yeah, you have a beautiful shape. I don't know what you look like now. Back then, you had a beautiful shape. Very small waist, wide hips, pretty legs. You had pretty, real pretty, cute toes. You was always talking about how men used to love your toes, how pretty your toes was, all this other stuff. So, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Because my man, right there. Why would you say that? So I said, ain't nobody saying thinking. Ain't nobody thinking about you, even though it was very disrespectful. And I knew.
Deidre William, Realtor Group of Houses.
Hold on.
FaceTime video.
Hey, sister. Hey. D. Hello? Did you mean to call me? Hello? Okay, I'm gonna hang up because I can't hear you. So, she said she went to Walmart and I sent her for some eggs and creamer. I'm trying to give up coffee, y'all. I'm trying, but it's so hard. It's so hard. The Southern Butter Pecan just be calling me. Anyway, so that was disrespectful. Then we used to, of course, go to Dugan's when I say all the time on Maury Drive. All the time we was at Dugan's. But when we would go to Dugan's, you would always, let's say Melvin sit here and I sit beside Melvin. Instead of you sitting, if the tables are shaped as 4 and he sit here and I sit here, instead of you sitting here beside me, you would always sit next to him, but you would always scoot your chair a little closer to him all the time. Oh, well, it's just certain things. It's certain I don't, girlfriends, talk to me if you get where I'm coming from, but it's certain things that I have embedded in me, how I carry myself whenever it comes to being around my girlfriends and their men. You know, if for example, someone posted a picture of, I don't know who this chick is, but it was with Ashanti, Nelly, and the chick. So the chick was here, the chick was in the middle, Ashanti was on one side, Nelly was on the other side, but Nelly kind of like leaned into the picture, but he's had his hand behind his back, and everybody was giving Nelly kudos on the fact that he didn't put his hand on the woman, he didn't touch the woman, and how he, you know, respected his wife by standing back, because the woman was very scantily clad. She had on a long dress, a long jacket, whatever, but she had on almost like a swimming top and some short shorts. So she was showing very revealing clothes. And it was very obvious that he was being very respectful to his wife. But one thing I pointed out to the women who were pointing that out is that the young lady in the picture was also being respectful to Ashanti, because she turned her body towards Ashanti. So her and Ashanti was this way, and Nelly was this way, because she had this little strip and all of her, you know, boobs is out, but not at the same time. You could see that it was a matter of respect. She turned towards the wife, and turned her back sort of to the husband. That's the kind of respect that I believe that we should be cognizant of and give whenever you're in a situation, whenever you're standing or you're around a husband and wife, or a man and a woman who are together or whatever. I've always had that certain level of respect. I don't give full body hugs. I don't give those. I might go in like, you know, this, or I might hug from the side. It's just a certain level of respect that I have when it comes to other women's men. And whether she is present or whether she is not, that's just who I am. It's not something that my mother taught me. It's just something that's embedded in me. I just have a certain level of respect whenever it comes to other women and their men. Even whenever it comes to how I dress. Even whenever it comes to something that I wear. If we, you know, we go to Jamaica, and it's a co-ed trip, and there's other men there, I'm very self-conscious about certain things, certain swimsuits and stuff that I wear, because I don't want to be disrespectful. You know, when we go on the cabin trip and there are other women, men, or husbands there, whenever it comes to pajama night, it's certain things that I am very cognizant of making sure that I don't put on out of respect for other women's men. It's just who I am. The same way that I say it's just, that's just not me. That's just me. That's just who I am. I just, even whether it's my cousins, it just doesn't matter. That's just who I am. But for you, Miss Denise Clark, you would always scoot your chair closer to him while he's sitting here. I'm sitting here. You sitting almost at the corner of the table. You sitting close to my man than I was. And I used to pick up on it, and other people would pick up on it. Here's the thing. My other girlfriends who would be around, they would notice it too. Matter of fact, to the point where last night I reached out to some of them. And I'm like, do you remember Denise? Tiffany remembers you. The other Denise remembers you. Shamika remembers you. My cousin Tam briefly sort of remembers you. Oh, and Karen, she remembers you. Yeah. So, because I don't, my heart don't pump Kool-Aid. I don't mind giving names. So, I remember we were at Julian's. We're sitting there, and we can always tell whenever you really didn't have any money, because you would order the least expensive thing on the menu. But, and I was wrong. It wasn't fries that you stuck your hand in his plate and got. It was a wing, because you had just ordered fries. And so we're sitting there, Dugan's, you know, they have karaoke. We used to go to karaoke all the time. And we're sitting there, me, you, excuse me, Mr. and you. Like I said, you usually always sat close to that. And it's like, no matter where we went, you would always make sure that you sat down next to him and scoot your chair next to him. And you were always the type that, you know how women do when they trying to flirt with a man. When he laugh, you gotta touch his arm, you gotta tap his arm, and you gotta this. You turn your body towards him to talk to him. So that particular night that I'm referring to, and there's many that I can call out, we're sitting there and you just stick your hand, and he don't order my food, he don't order his food, you ordered you some fries. You don't stuck your fingers, your love. First of all, people, especially men always talk about how their girlfriends always want some of what they have. And so it's like, and he was definitely like that. He was like, Chloe, get whatever you want. Because he knew I was good for one some whatever he has. Get whatever you want, Chloe. You stuck your hand in his plate and grabbed a wing. And that pissed me off. And I remember that day I went off. That day I went off about it because it had been building up. You had been doing so many things. Because, mind you, man, this man was together from 2003 to 2009. But then we kept on messing around for 2 more years after that. Me and this man was together for a very long time. And for a bit of that time, you was around. So that was that. So let's also talk about the Dirty South slab riders. I had my motorcycle accident in 2003. Let's back that up. As a matter of fact, Tim Loco was before Melvin. 2003, I had my motorcycle accident. Brought you around, and they used to refer to you as that begging ass Denise. Because you always used to be like, where my drink? Where my drink? Where mine at? Why you gonna buy me a drink? You was always asking for a man to buy you a drink. Or you was like, where mine at? Where mine at? So that day we was at Sweet Auburn Festival, 2003. That was April when I had the accident. April, May 2003. And we were at Sweet Auburn Festival, and we had left because we had went to a car wash we had a car wash at McDonald's over at the West End on Ashby Street. So you didn't make it up there, but you end up coming up to Sweet Auburn. And whenever you came up, Big J, Dre, Crazy D, all of us standing there. And when you walked up, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said, here come that begging ass Denise. Because and not only that, here come that begging ass Denise. Somebody said, yeah, because she got hands like cups. Always got your hand out. Wait a minute. And as soon as you walked up, we sent them the, we drinking, we got our stuff that we done got from the vendor. Where mine at? That was you. That was you. And you were so much not a friend to me that day I had a motorcycle accident. I ended up, that was really, I kind of like distanced myself from you for a minute from that situation, because I had a motorcycle accident that day on 20. Slid down 20, messed up my hands, my belly, took all the skin off the back of my butt. So when summertime comes and y'all see me out at the pool or on the beach and y'all see this black this on the bottom part of my butt, it's because I slid down 20 popping wheelies on the back of a motorcycle, and I slid down 20, had a motorcycle accident. That was that Saturday I had a motorcycle accident. I almost lost my life. You were so much not a sister to me that Sunday we were having a bike car wash at Redan Sports Bar. And y'all heifers didn't even bother to come and check on me. Y'all were so invested in getting up there to the bike wash so y'all can wash the motorcycles in y'all bikinis that you didn't even come check on me. Friend, baby sister. And then after that, you screw Loco, who I used to date within our bike group. You. And if you didn't screw him, he said that he screwed you. But one thing that I do know you did is you asked him for some money. That was you. You know, this was during the dope deal days. You ain't had no problem asking nobody for some money. You asked him for some money. And he was like, why he called me? Why Denise asking me for money? I said, probably because you done gave her the impression that you would give it to her. So, Miss Denise Clark, it would really have been advantageous for you not to come on my YouTube channel and make that comment. It makes so bad. Even after all of this went down, we briefly became cool again. You were living over here off Memorial Drive, right there at Memorial and Boulevard on that back street. I have a very good memory. You and I were cool again. We were cool again to the point where I remember you calling me and saying that you had been really, really sick. You had, you were having gastro problems or upper GI problems. I remember that. I remember you had gotten sick and you lost a lot of weight. And also, I remember whenever you was bitten by a red recluse spider. And you called me and you and I talked. And this is after all of this happened. You and I talked. And I still was conversing with you like a damn fool. Because you said that you had almost died because you got bit by a red recluse spider. And I still had compassion for you. Even after all the bullshit that you did. So baby girl, one thing that you're not gonna do is come on my growing success story and try to shine at all. But if you want to get in contact with me, first you can reach out. My email address is chloe@chloebarksdale.com. You can reach out to me there. Or you can reach out to me at beingchloebarksdale@gmail.com and I'll send you my phone number. And together we can have a conversation if you want to clear the air. Because I'm good over here. You're almost 50 years old if you're not 50 years old. And I'm 54 years old. And for you to come on here and bring up something that you say was 20 years ago, baby girl, that speaks volumes about who you are. Especially after you and I done had conversations and I've been friendly towards you after all the stuff that you did. I see you still messy. I need to get a clue. But anyway, y'all, let me tell y'all this. So I gotta finally do this unboxing. I gotta do the unboxing and I gotta actually do a video. But level 8, y'all, level 8 has, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do the unboxing. Go ahead and do the unboxing now. Because I gotta actually do a video on it. But y'all, level 8, one of my spots. See, this is why I say, baby, you can't block my blessing. Then you want to come over here, you want to be messy on my page. And I got sponsors reaching out to me, sending me $200 suitcases for free. Because they know I'm going to start traveling. Level 8 has reached out to me, and I'm actually going to go ahead and make sure that I do this sponsorship. Oh, child. I gotta make sure I do this sponsorship. Jesus. These hot flashes gonna start kicking in. I'm probably gonna come up out of this outfit today, because even though it's kind of thin, it's still, I'm still sweating. I've been drinking lots of water. But y'all, so Level 8 sent me and I picked yellow because I like whenever it comes to luggage, it stands out so I can see what's mine real quickly. Y'all, I am so excited. One reason that I picked this particular one is the handle. I like the handle. Now I gotta figure out how to. Anyway, y'all, the handle is wide. This is the whole handle. And so anyway, I just unboxed it for you guys real quick, but I'm gonna actually do a whole video on Level 8, and I gotta reach out to Bossy Tasha and Kehlani so they can explain to me, because I really do want to get that set that reached out to me, that I told them that I didn't understand what it was that they were trying to get me to do. Nevertheless, this vlog is gonna be long enough to be one vlog for today, and you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and post it today. I'm on a roll, so yeah, you guys gonna get this vlog today too. I'll make sure that it's posted by 6 o'clock because you wanted the shine, Denise Clark, so I'm going to give you a whole vlog all to yourself, girlfriend. Love you, bye.